Hello everyone, it's Rie. Welcome to my channel. And today we have a special guest from Hawaii. Sotaro さん、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
はい、じゃあ、Sotaro さん、please introduce yourself.
Yes. My name is sotaromisawa. I'm from Hawaii. I'm originally from Sendai, Japan. I studied abroad in California and then worked there for 3 years. Then I have lived in New York for 5 years and I moved to Hawaii 8 years ago. And I'm a public accountant licensed in California. And I'm also approved captive insurance manager in Hawaii. Now I run my own company called Arakai Global.
Wow, so many places. You moved a lot. はい、そんなじゃあ、Sotaro さんに質問していきたいと思います。Okay, the first question. What brought you to Hawaii and was it your dream?
Yes, there is a TV show called Hawaii Life, and it's run on HDTV. That's a cable TV in the United States. They show people coming from outside Hawaii, move to Hawaii, and look for a house. My wife and I always watch that TV in ice cold New York at that time, and we always dreamed of living in Hawaii. And then we had honeymoon, wedding and honeymoon in Big Island, Hawaii Island.
Nice.
I was there for about 2 to 3 weeks, and we had such a great time. And that made us dream about living in Hawaii even more. And on the other hand, I lost my job back in 2013, end of 2013. And I started looking for a job in New York, but I couldn't find a good job in New York. So we started expanding the search to Florida and Southern California, like San Diego. But we weren't happy with either places because we really wanted to live in Hawaii. So one day in San Diego, we decided to come to Hawaii. First, I came here by myself looking for a job. I came here completely jobless. So we came to Hawaii jobless without returning ticket to New York. And my wife gave me 3 months to look for a job in Hawaii. And I've been here ever since. I successfully found a job, which happened to be in my current industry that I work in, which is insurance. And yeah, that's how we ended up in Hawaii.
Okay, and tell me about your ticket purchase story.
Yeah, so I was looking for a job in San Diego. I successfully finished the second interview, which is almost getting a job at that time. It's down to like a couple people between me and the other candidate. So I almost got that job, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if San Diego is really where I wanted to be. So right after that second interview in San Diego, me and my wife sat down on the beach, and we kind of discussed whether San Diego is the place to be. And we kind of agreed that it wasn't perfect for us because we're still thinking about living in Hawaii, and we always talked about someday we wanted to be in Hawaii. So I almost like a jokingly said, what if I found a job in Hawaii? And I was like 50% joking, 50% kind of serious. And my wife was like, yeah, why not? Why don't you go to Hawaii? And I was like, really? And that night, my wife booked the one-way ticket to Hawaii, gave it to me, and then told me, this airplane leaves tomorrow morning to Honolulu. I'll give you 3 months to look for a job in Hawaii. she flew back, back to New York, and then I flew to Honolulu next morning, knowing nobody. I didn't have any friends, family, or anything. I just landed in Honolulu and then started looking for a job.
Wow, that is a quite story. Just one day, you're like, hey, let's go to Hawaii. Oh, I purchased a ticket and fly out tomorrow.
Yeah, I was in
Just
San
like
Diego
that.
to look for a job, so I had everything I needed. Like, I had laptop and suits and tie.
Mhm.
Apparently, Hawaii people don't wear suits and tie. Like, as you can,
Yeah,
everybody
aloha shirt.
wears aloha shirts. This is the work clothes, work attire. So I had to call my wife and then, hey, send me money. I had to buy aloha shirts here.
Wow, that's so interesting. But when you want something, you just gotta do it, right?
Yep. Yeah, and then do everything that takes.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I love it. Okay, I want to move on to the next question. So since you moved to Hawaii and you made your dream come true, so question number 2, what would be the advice for those who are studying English and then who want to work overseas?
Okay, I would say studying, because first of all, you have to study English, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not only you need to be able to read and write English, more importantly, you have to be able to communicate effectively with English-speaking people. There are different levels to that. First, you have to be able to understand what's being spoken in the classroom. And that's the easiest. And then you have to be able to speak with your friends or coworkers in a casual conversation. And a lot of people tend to have difficulty in that level because you lack in understanding of the local culture and customs. And there are a lot of expressions that you may not be familiar to from the textbook. So you kind of have to know the culture and then, a lot of vocabulary that's being used in the casual conversation. So that's the second level, I think. And then the third level is that when you get to the manager level or somebody who needs to be the leader and then work with other people that may report to you, as a leader, you need to be able to speak differently as well. So that will be like a sales skill in English or marketing skill in English, written and spoken English that are higher level to communicate the complex concept and the visions. And a lot of Japanese people are not good at that. So if you want to do the better job, like perform at the higher level in any field, I think you need to continue learning English so that you can speak and communicate effectively. Having that in mind, you have to, sharpen your skills in English, written and also spoken English.
Yeah, the language entails so many like aspects, and especially working in Hawaii, I feel like there's so many like specific cultural things, that only happens in Hawaii, or like expressions like aloha or mahalo. Yeah, that's not written in textbooks like regular English textbooks, but you need to learn like those like terminology that's like specific to like each region and culture. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, like knowing the local language is always helps. If you're in like Hawaii community, then you say aloha, mahalo, like Happy New Year in Hawaii language and stuff like that. And then local people appreciate that kind of gesture.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now you moved to Hawaii and you're raising your family, your child. So I wanted to ask you about, the raising a child. So the question number 3 is, what are your thoughts on raising a child in a foreign country?
My son, I have a son that's 4-year old, and he has 3 passports because he was born to me, Japanese, my wife is Vietnamese, and also my son was born in United States, so he had 3 passports, and he has 3 identities almost.
Wow.
And he's been talked to in 3 different languages, and plus a mixture of Hawaii dialect, which is Pidgin English. So yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for him to learn multiple languages. My advice is to have him master one language, which is the main language, which is the English. And I think that is the most important aspect, important language that he needs to master first. And that will help him develop his thinking in English. And that will help him a lot when it comes to his time to learn multiple languages, Japanese, Vietnamese, and anything else that he may be interested.
So you think that having a core language is so important for like critical thinking and stuff? I see. Do you have like any other like struggles or like, since you have like so many like diversity in like, like as a cultural backgrounds, for him. So is there any like struggles or like any thoughts on that?
I think we are fortunate that we live in Hawaii, not because of the weather, but the community and a diverse culture here, because Hawaii always had multiple cultures mixed in here. Like, we have a lot of Japanese people, Korean people, Filipino people, Portuguese people, and of course, United States and Hawaii. And this is probably the most diverse population outside, say, Los Angeles or New York. And we feel very fortunate that we get to see many different cultures and then many different color of skin and people.
Okay, that's great. Since you work as an accountant, and I wanted to ask you this question. Question number 4, as an accountant, what financial lessons would you like to teach a child?
The money is to be earned is the first thing, as parents, you have urge to just give money, pay for everything for kids, that unintentionally teach him the lesson that the money comes from parents. So I don't want to teach him that. And I want to teach him that money is to be earned by providing value to someone else. I've been trying to teach him that the fact that the money doesn't just happen, but that's something you have to earn by doing service. In our backyard, we have a coconut trees. We have 8
that's
coconuts.
So nice.
And each coconut tree produces about 50 coconuts twice a year. So we harvest those coconuts, and we sell them on Facebook Marketplace. And I have him involved in all the processes by, from picking the coconut from the ground to, put it in the garage and then post it on the Facebook. Take picture and then post it on the Facebook. And well, the messaging part I do, but when the buyer comes to a garage and then buy coconut, I have him help pick up the coconut, bring it to their car, and then ask for the money for it.
Oh wow!
So, in a sense, I help him run a business. It's a, even if it's as simple as selling a coconut, it's a business.
Yeah, it
having,
is.
Yeah, having procurement of the product, which is the coconut, and distribution, pricing, and and handing out, handling the cash as well. He could see all aspects of business in that transaction. So, my goal is to have him do that once in a while so that he can see and learn from the experience. And we want to, grow him into like, that is natural for him to make a small business, earn his own money. And also we help him decide what to spend money to. Like, without teaching him, he always wants to have candy and toys, right? But I also want to teach him to invest, save, or donate. There are a lot of different ways to use the money, and then you enjoy the fruits from it. So yeah, we try to teach him every aspect of money before he turns, he grow adult. And I want to be as self-sufficient as possible as a person.
Wow, that's great. It sounds like a story out of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is like written by Robert Kiyosaki, and then he's like native to Hawaii.
Yes. Actually, that's my favorite book, and then my wife's favorite book. We read the book many times over. Yeah, and then I also listened to his podcast and everything, and then I always wanted to give proper financial education to our kids.
Yeah, financial literacy is so important. I feel like, especially if you're moving to another country as an immigrant, you really need to know those rules. Otherwise, you're gonna get, you're gonna experience hardship. So that's like something I'm really interested in. I'm interested too.
And it's not taught in school.
Yeah, it's not taught in school. Like I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, so somebody has to teach that to kids, and then that has to be the parents, because school doesn't teach that.
Yeah, it seems like your kid gonna grow up so independent, which is a great thing. Wow, thank you so much. I'm learning a lot from you. Okay, so the last question, I ask this question to everyone, but question number 5, what advice would you like to give to your younger self?
Don't be afraid, just do it. Don't overthink about it. Like, don't analyze too much, but just start doing it. That you do, because most of the times things turn out the way you like to turn out. And that was the case for me when I moved to New York, when I moved to Hawaii. That's how things turned out. And the disaster is always an opportunity. So don't be discouraged by it. Just think that as an opportunity to change your life. And I think a lot of people experience disaster or financial disaster or any kind of disaster in because of the COVID and then all the financial crisis that followed. But I've been laid off 2 times, and I had to get married because of the visa. But everything turned out okay afterward. And looking back, that was the best thing that happened to me to make my life better.
So blessing in disguise.
Yes, but mostly blessing.
Yeah, mostly blessings.
It's just how you look at it.
That's true, because if you didn't get fired, you might not be in Hawaii right now.
Yes. So if I didn't lose job, I wouldn't be in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So disaster is always an opportunity. So change your perspective and be positive, and hope hopefully the thing, turn out to your favor.
How did you learn to be positive? Because I feel like you're a very positive person.
I learned from a lot of different things. I learned from my friends a lot. I have two good friends, Brandon and Andrew, and then they're the most positive person you can imagine. Always laughing, and but they experience a lot of hardship as well. But they don't take it anything negatively. But they just turn the things around. For their favor. And then I learned a lot from my friends. And then I also read a lot of books. Books teach you how to deal with these, the hard situations. So yeah, so friends and books.
Friends and books. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Sotaro-san. And Sotaro-san is on Twitter, and he's also on ClubHouse.
Yeah.
And then we host rooms together quite often. So please follow him on Twitter. And if there's anything you want to tell people, please go ahead.
So yeah, so I have Twitter, Instagram, and also do many rooms together with Rie-san. So we speak weekly with Rie-san and other wonderful speakers. So please check us out.
Yay. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sotaro-san. That was great to hear your stories. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.